I find this interesting because an application of dimensional analysis that can help us to convert one system of units to the other, they said earlier that we use the same principle of dimensional homogeneity. But first, note the following. Very important before you start solving these questions of converting one system of units from one system to the other. You first need to know what we call conversion factor. Conversion factor the factors that are numbers that are multiplied to a certain unit to convert it from one form to another. For instance, if you have 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams, this 1000 is the converting factor of a kilogram. If you take 1 kilogram, you multiply by 1000, this 1000 is the converting factor. Automatically the kilograms will be converted to grams. This is what we call converting factors. So you have to know converting factors, especially of those factors that you'll be asked in the question. Also, second thing that you should note and know before we proceed, you have to assume that the first system, actually, okay, we are now solving and showing how we can do it, that you have to assume now you are converting one system to the other. Assume that the first system of units ni UI. Kwa mfano, kama system tukompeza zamani na sasa hivi, labda walikuwa wanatumia length, walikuwa wanatumia foot, au walikuwa wanatumia inch. Ndio system za kwanza U1. Second system ni U2 ambao siku hizi tunatumia sisi length, tunatumia zetu kilometers, tunatumia zetu meters hivyo. Again, assume that you have values x2 na x1. Hizi x2 na x1 ndo actual values, the numbers now. Kama hapa tumesema foot ndo labda 5, ndo inakuwa x1. Kwa ni numbers hizi. Kwa mfano kama hii U2 common units sasa hivi ambazo tumesema labda ni length ambao ni meters, tunasema labda ni 6 meters. Hizi x ni values, amounts au values za unit 1 na unit 2 respectively, without considering units, just the number, remember, just the number, nasisitiza just the number itself. Then from the principle of dimensional homogeneity, we know converting one unit to another doesn't change the status of the unit. Kama ni length bado inabaki kuwa length, either ni foot au ni meters, bado inabaki kuwa units za length hivyo. Kama ni kilogram au ni pounds, bado zinabaki kwa ni mass. So automatically from the principle of dimension, ya lazima dimensions za unit ya kwanza zifanane na dimensions za unit ya pili. So from here ndo maswali yetu yote yanakuwa solved kiurahisi kabisa hapa. Kwa mfano, consider tuna proceed. If dimension hizo hapo ni sawa na dimensions za unit ya pili, convert, mfano sasa, convert 65 miles per hour. Hizi mile walikuwa wanatumia zamani, siku hizi anyway tunatumia, lakini okay, natumia za zamani ziku differentiate kwamba ni system moja na hii system nyingine. So convert 65 miles per hour kwenda kwenye inches per second. Sawa, tuna convert miles per hour kwenda kwenye inches per second. Formula ni hapa. So first step, jua kwanza conversion factors zako. Sawa, una convert miles per hour kwenda kwenye inches per second. You have to know the conversion factor of an hour kwenda kwenye second. You have to know conversion factor of a mile kwenda kwenye inch. Si unanielewa? Nimejaribu kusummarize hapa kwamba 1 mile ni sawa sana this number of inches, 1 hour ni sawa sana this number of seconds. From there you know your conversion factor, you proceed to the second step. This is the first system U1 and this is the second system U2, the inches and seconds. Second step, write the dimensional equation. Dimensional equation, it means you have to know you are dealing with what. For this case we are dealing with velocities. Miles per hour is the velocity and inches per second is velocity. So we have to know the dimensions of these units. So we know that U doesn't matter, U1, U2, they are all velocities. They all have the dimensions of L, T minus 1. So the second step, you have to know that the units that you are dealing with, what are their dimensions. From there you recall from equation 1 that x1 u1 in brackets is equal to x2 u2, where x1 and x2, as I said, they are just values. of units with the values of units, the values kama ni 60, 70. For this case we have one value hapa ambayo ni 65. Hii ndo nilichokuwa naongelea, just the value. Ndo hizi values ndo value ya x1 for this case. Sawa, value x1. Now our interest hapa ni kutafuta the value into the new unit. Kwa tunatafuta value ya x2 in the new units 2. So we can make x2 the subject from here. Then we have x2, dimensions of x2. Sasa dimensions x1 times u1 over dimensions of u2. From there we have x2, the value, because these are just values, you can remove the square brackets because they have no dimensions. So we have the value of x2 is equal to the value of x1 times the divisions of dimensions of units 1 over units 2, where we expect these units to cancel because they are all length. If it's length, the dimensions, all they are of the same dimensions, so automatically we remain with the value into the new system of units. So x I've written here, though mwandiko wangu wa kidaktari, unajua tena madaktari sisi tena Muhimbili kazi kweli. So we have the values of x here, they are dimensionless without considering units, without considering just the numbers. So for this case we have just x1 ambayo ni 65. So you substitute, we know that the dimensions of u1 zinakuwa ni, tumeshasema dimensions za u ni lt minus 1. So speaking of u1 ni l1 t1 power minus 1. Speaking of u2 ni l2 t2 power minus 1. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So finally when we come to substitute here, we have our x2 is equal to x1 times l1 t1 power minus 1 divided by l2 t2 power minus 1, the dimensions themselves. So simplifying this, we have x1, put the l1 l2 together, times put the t1 and t2 together, they are both power negative 1, so we can just factor out power negative 1 outside. Put in the conversion factors. Make sure nasisitiza hapa, make sure all the system, make sure all system are converted. Make sure all the system are converted to one system, which for this case we recommend you convert units za system ile ya mwanzo kwenda kwenye ile ambayo umeulizwa uitaftie. What do I mean? Ni kwamba unapoanza kuandika hapa, conversion factors zinakuja kutumika hapa sasa. Sawa? Umeshaandika 65 hii tayari. Unapokuja kwenye hii segment, L1 over L2. L1 ni length into system 1, ambao this time ilikuwa nini? Ni miles. Kwa hiyo unit zake unaandika mile hapo. L2 ni length into the second system, ambao the second system L2 ilikuwa nini? Inches. Unaandika hapo. It should have been inch here. Inch. This should have been inch. So we have L1 ambayo units zake ilikuwa ni units the length kwenye system 1 ambayo ilikuwa ni miles, hapo 1 mile. So we have L2 ambayo ilikuwa ni system the length kwenye unit 2 ambazo nini? Ni inches, iko hapo. Then we go to the segment ya time ambayo T1 ilikuwa ni time kwenye system 1 ambayo ilikuwa nini? Ni hours. Kwa unaweka hapo hour. Usiandike value yoyote, yani just write the hour itself, usiandike 25. Hizo hii 65 imeshatolewa huku, value yake iko huko. So we have 1 hour. T2 in the second system of units ambao ni second, kwa kunakuwa na second hapo in brackets, they are all raised to power negative 1. So the second step from here, we have now to bring in our conversion factors. Our conversion factors zinaingia hapo, that you have to convert all the first system into the second system. You have to make sure that all the units ambazo ziko hapo zinafanana tu na zile za ulichoulizwa uconvert kwenda kule. Sawa, kwamba ulipewa hii hapo, umeulizwa sasa inches per second. So hakikisha hapo unabaki na units za inches na seconds to bring in the conversion factor. Replace the mile with 63,360 inches ambao ni hapa. So 65 unakuwa hapa na 63,360 inches times 63,360 inches divide by 1 inch times 1 hour ambao una convert inakuwa ni ngapi? 3,600 seconds. Kwa replace the hour hapo, andika 3,600 seconds divide by the second itself. All of this power negative 1. Okay, actually we forgot to write that power negative 1, lakini inakuwa power negative 1. I hope you understand me. I repeat kwamba after you write this, you make sure that all the units zinafanana. Na zinafanana kwa namna gani? Zinatakiwa zifanane kuelekea kwenye units za kile ambacho umeulizwa, ambao for this case umeulizwa convert kwenye inches per second. So convert hizi miles zitoke hapa, zisiwepo hawa, hizi ziende kwenye inches na seconds tu, ndio units ambazo zibaki. So you convert the miles, you replace the mile, ndo conversion factor unazileta. 1 mile ni sawa na hii hapo, unaireplace hapo, na 1 hour ni sawa na this seconds, unaireplace hapo, power negative 1. Kwa inakuwa 65 times 63,360 times 3,600 divided by 1 power negative 1. So ni kama ni 65 times this value divide, kwa sababu hii power negative 1 it means itakuja hapa divide 3,600. So finally you get x2 ni sawa na 1.1 times 10 power 3. Hiyo ni value ya x2, lakini x2 ulikuwa una convert kwenda kwenye units gani? Inches per second. So inakuja kuwa kwamba x2 the value yake actually the numerical value inakuwa ni 1.1 times 10 power 3 inches per second. I hope that is clear. It's actually simple and interesting, as you can see. So generally we have this formula. Just remember that in this formula, if we are looking for units into new system 2 is equal to the value of system 1 times this ratio. To make things easier, just remember that on top they stay things of the same system, kwamba inakaa value ya x1, inakaa mass 1, inakaa length 1, inakaa time 1. Don't worry if the units have no either one of this. Kama mfano uliopita ulikuwa hauna mass, just ignore that this is 0. So this is the general formula. Just remember that on top zinakaa system unit, values za system moja. Kama hapa ilikuwa ni x1, m1, l1, T1, just to help you remember this formula. So you can try this question. Actually the answer here should be, you will convert and you will reach